Hi everyone, it's Marie from Teddy Soap, and you can see me working really fast. I'm doing a full funnel pour, and I'm going to call this my Psychedelic Soap because it's kind of all different colors all poured one into the other and kind of making some neat patterns. So my batter is fairly liquidy, and I'm pouring from one of the corners. I saw that on one of the videos from another soaper, and I thought the effect was really neat. So here I am, just alternating colors. I don't really have a particular pattern. I just kind of do alternating colors with a lot of contrast, like a brown and a yellow and a red and a green. And by the way, the red is looking very pink at this point, but it will darken into more of a red once the soap is all set and cured. So here we go, getting every little bit out. And the mold that I'm using is really not an actual mold. It's a little drawer out of one of my little storage cabinets. And I've prepared about 50 ounces of oil. That fits nicely in there. It's going to give me bars that are about an inch thick or a little bit over an inch thick. So here we go. Tamp it down. It seems a little uneven. It seems a little bit higher on the one end than the other, but I think that's just the camera angle because it did turn out fairly even throughout. So there you go. Okay, so now tamp it down, and here we go. Do a little swirl really quickly, kind of like a spider web type of swirl. There we go. So this is what the finished product looks like. This is still just after I've poured it, so it's still wet, but you can see a little bit more of the design. So 3 days later, we're cutting it, and you can see I've got some ash on the front edge of the soap. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. Even I use isopropyl alcohol that I spray on. It helps prevent a lot of it, but sometimes I still get some of it. So there you go. It's kind of psychedelic looking, which is why I called it psychedelic. And it's been 3 days and it's still very soft. I don't believe this gelled at all. Actually, it looks too opaque to have gelled. When the soap gels, you can sometimes see it becomes a little bit more translucent. And this definitely is not translucent at all. So here I am trying to figure out exactly my measurements to make each bar of soap kind of the same size. So make some little marks there. Okay, make some marks on each row. Certainly cutting a loaf with a miter box and a cutter is a lot easier than cutting these. These you have to really measure and make sure that your lines and your notches are all straight so that you don't get crooked bars. But sometimes that gives it more of a handmade look when they're a little bit uneven or a little bit off kilter. It's kind of that rustic look. So it's still quite sticky. I'm starting to consider using sodium lactate in my soap. I've been resisting it because even though people say that sodium lactate is a natural product because our bodies make lactic acid and the sodium lactate is just a salt of that, I don't know. It's just one more thing to add to soap, and I kind of like to keep my recipes fairly simple, fairly natural. The essence, the fragrance actually I've used for this is petit grain mixed with orange. So it's very citrusy, very fairly light, not overly light because of the petit grain is a little bit of a heavier essence, a little heavier oil, but it's got a nice clean smell to it. And it got a little bit crumbly on the bottom. I think I got a little bit of ash on the bottom. It's not too overly problematic, but a lot of the ash or the lighter areas I ended up actually just shaving off with my little mandolin. Okay, we're getting there, near the end. Oh, forgot to make my notches on the last end there, so here we go with the ruler again. There we go. And actually, I don't cut all that quickly. This is a double speed. Either that or I could say I had a lot of coffee that day. Well, there we go. So it's all cut. That's kind of what it looks like, top and sides. So pretty neat designs. So after they've been cleaned up and beveled and mitered, and still a few little areas with a little bit of ash, so I'm going to spot cure those, or spot shave those. And there you go. So thank you for watching, everyone.